Chapter 13 of the Shortstop. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Rowdy Delaney, Idaho, USA. The Shortstop by Zane Grey. Chapter 13 Sunday Ball. "Say, sure I got something to tell you Indians that I ain't stuck on," said Mac. "The directors have decided to play Sunday ball." The boys could not have made a more passionate and angry outbreak if they had heard they were to be hanged. "Beef, beef!" shouted Mac, red as a lobster. "Haven't I been agin it? You puff in front of the hotel stiffs talk as if I was to blame." "What?" roared Castorious. "Gimme my release!" cried Benny, who had recently taken to attending a certain church. Benny never did anything by halves. The dude flung his bat through a window, carrying away glass and sash. All except Chase were violent in word and action, and he was too greatly surprised to move or speak. Mac's position often assumed exasperating phases. This was one of them. He tried reason on the most choleric of his players with about as much success as if they had been brass mules. They persisted in venting their spleen on him. Then he lost his temper. "Flannel mouths! Have you all swallowed red hot bricks? Cheese it now, cheese it! The guy that doesn't report here Sunday gets let down, and fined besides. Got thet?" Chase left the grounds in some distress of mind. The past 4 weeks had been so perfect that he had forgotten things could go wrong. Sunday ball! It had never occurred to him. To give up his place on the team and all the bright promise of the future he could not consider for a moment. He would have to reconcile himself to the inevitable. But what would his mother say? He might keep it from her. He did not need to tell her. She never would find it out. No, the temptation lasted only a moment. He would not deceive her. And then a further consideration weighed upon him. If he played baseball on the Sabbath in order to attain a future success, would that success be an honest one? He was afraid it would not. He had been trained to respect the Sabbath. If he kept faith with his training he must confess Sunday games were wrong. Nevertheless, he could not harbor the idea of resigning his place. This made him feel he was wilfully doing wrong, and he plunged into bitterness of spirit. It was with no little curiosity that Chase went out upon the field on Sunday. The grandstand looked as usual. Many familiar faces were there. The bleachers were packed, and a line of men and boys 20 deep extended along to the right and left of the diamond. Chase had never seen such a crowd in the grounds, nor had he ever seen such enthusiasm. All at once it occurred to him that there were hundreds and thousands of boys and men who worked every daylight hour 6 days in the week. They were new to him, and he saw that he was as new to them. They had never seen him play. They had never before had a chance to see a ball game in Findlay. A question came naturally to Chase's quick mind. Had they played the game when they were mere tots on the commons and learned to love it as he had? A blind man would have answered in the affirmative. They were wild and bubbling over from sheer joy. If they loved the game and had only one day to go, albeit that day was Sunday, were they doing harm? Chase could not answer that, but he knew whatever it was for them applied also to him. Findlay won the first Sunday game. A greater and noisier crowd had never been in attendance. Noise! The field was howling bedlam. The boys ran like unleashed colts. The men cheered their own players, roared at their opponents and at each other. In his heart Chase was trying desperately hard to justify his own part in it, and because of that he saw much and found food for reflection. Well he knew the pallor of these boys. It came from the dark, sunless foundries. The hundreds of men present had a yellowish, oily look. They were the diggers and refiners, the laborers from the oil fields. At first Chase thought their unbridled mirth, their coarse jests at the umpire, at the players, and themselves, their unremitting wild hoarse yells as unnatural as strident. Then suddenly a smile here, a laugh of delight there, told him all this was only natural. These men and boys had found expression for their pent up feelings, for a short delight in contrast to the long day. This was their hour of freedom. "Yell, that's right, yell," muttered Chase through his teeth as he went to bat. He felt for them, but he could not quite understand. He drove one of his famous liners against the fence. "Yell for that," he said to himself. A long, screeching, swelling howl of rapture rose from the fields and stands. It rang in Chase's ears as he sped round the bases, and when, after sliding into third, he stood up, he saw a sight he never forgot. The crowd was one leaping, tossing, waving, crazy mass. With Chase, to get the track of anything was to trail it to the end. The faces and actions of that crowd made him think. Their frenzied glee made him sad, because it reminded him of his old longing for freedom, and its very violence bespoke the bottled up love of play. These men and boys wanted to play, and circumstances made it so they could not. They loved to play. As they had mothers, sisters, brothers, children to support, they had no time to play. As the next best thing, they loved to see someone else play. And they had only one day, Sunday. "It's this way," said Chase to himself. "If these men and boys spend their Sundays at home and in church, then Sunday ball is wrong. If they spend it otherwise, then Sunday ball is not wrong." Chase was tenacious and stubborn. He found he loved the game as a boy because of the play in it. Now he loved it because of what it was doing for him, because he believed in it. And he set himself to find out what it might be doing for others. He could not write to his mother until he had decided the question. So he spent much of his leisure time going the rounds of the foundries, factories, refineries, brick yards, and he took care to drop into all the saloons, the beer gardens, and dance halls. Everywhere he was known and welcomed. He asked questions, he listened, and he watched. When another Sunday had passed he was in possession of all he needed to know. With immeasurable relief he decided that while he would rather not play Sunday ball, it was not wrong for him to do so. He even decided he was doing good. Thus he settled the perplexing question forever in his own conscience. He would tell his mother how he had arrived at his conclusion, and as for others, it did not matter what they thought. All this time Chase had not been blind to certain indications of coolness on the part of people who had hitherto been pleased to be courteous and affable. And as these indications came solely from chance meetings in the streets, he began to wonder how much deeper their coolness would go, provided he sought the society of these persons. That thought alone kept him away from Marjory for over a week. He believed she would understand, and still be his friend. But instinctively he feared her mother, and he had a momentary twinge when he called to mind the young minister so welcome in the Dean household. One evening, when a party of ladies coolly snubbed him, Chase could stand the suspense no longer. So he presented himself at Marjory's home, and much to his relief found her on the porch alone. "Chase, Mama has forbidden me to see you," she said, with her blue eyes on him. Chase gulped when he saw the eyes were unchanged, still warm and bright. "No? Oh, Marjory, it's not so bad as that." "Yes. But Chase, you just give up the Sunday games and then everything will be all right." "I can't do that." "Why not? Let them play without you." "It's no use, Marjory. Either I play on Sundays or I give up the game. And it means a good deal to me. Does your mother say it's wrong?" "She says it's awful. And Mr. Marsden held up his hand in holy horror when he heard it. He's going to work against it, stop it. Do you think it's so terribly wrong?" "Oh, Chase, for you to ask me that! Don't you know it?" "No, I don't," replied Chase, stubbornly. "Then you won't give it up?" "No." "Not even to please me?" "I would if I could, but I can't. Marjory, please." "Then good bye.